Don't allow anybody to pull you so low as to make you hate them. I close by quoting once more the man that the young lady quoted, Langston Hughes. One day he wrote a poem entitled Mother to Son. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stad. It's had tacks in it, boards torn up places, but no carpet.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think we're back on now, y'all. We had an internet outage, and folks, and I apologize for that. It happened yesterday around this same time. I don't know what's going on, but today's guest, y'all, is Mr. Josh Wallace. Josh, welcome to WBQP. And again, I apologize.
No worries.
I don't know what happened, y'all. We've been promising to get Josh on for a long time. Josh is involved with the Baptist Project. And Josh, you work with an organization called, is it Jacobs? Tell us about, well, you tell folks who you are. I know you're a Pensacola native and what's your involvement with the Baptist Project?
Right. Yeah. No. So one, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. We have been trying to get it lined up for a while, but schedules have been busy with the project getting started. Yeah. And so personally, my name is Joshua Wallace. I'm a Pensacola native, born and raised from here. Went to Woodham High School. They shut it down going into my senior year. So I graduated from Booker T. So kind of got the best of both worlds in the high school realm. So I'm proud of always being a Titan, and I'm proud to be a Wildcat as well. I went on to school at Auburn where I studied civil engineering. I played basketball. And so that was a great experience for me. And then I entered the work field. I've been in construction ever since. And so I was on the general contracting side for about, 10 years before relocating back home to just be closer to my mom and the family, the family that's here. And so it's been good being back for about 4 years now. And so I currently work for Jacobs, which is a global organization. Pretty much we touch any kind of engineering under the sun and do a wide variety of things. But the one thing I'm over right now is the construction realm. As far as just project management and construction management. And so we've partnered with the city of Pensacola to oversee the Baptist Demolition Project in conjunction with North Star, who is the general contractor. And so, yeah, we'll be walking hand in hand and making sure the public stays abreast for, all the updates or if anything changes. And so we're in the midst of setting up a website right now where people can get live information. And that website will be www.formerbaptistdemolition.com.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us about what's happening with the Baptist Project. And I know y'all going to start from the inside out, but talk to us about that, because this project is probably near and dear to the community. Absolutely. And I just want to make sure that folks understand what's going on and how long it's going to take and what the impact is and so forth.
Absolutely. So work is starting behind closed doors now. So everything is kept to the inside of the building. Asbestos removal technically, formally started on January 12th. And so we're about 2 to 3 weeks in. Everything has been going well. All federal and environmental regulations have been followed to date. And one good thing to note is even though they have started bagging the asbestos material that will be removed from the site, we are keeping it all inside right now, just to limit how much time, how much exposure we have to the outside. And the GC actually recommended that we don't keep it in dumpsters overnight, because sometimes people just want to get in and dig through dumpsters, which we feel like is a good thing. And so North Star, we're confident in their ability to perform this work. And so right now, like I said, work is happening on the inside, and that will continue realistically, probably until September and October. Probably around February, March, end of February, early March, you'll start seeing some work on the outside of the buildings as they start to prepare to bring them down safely.
How long is this project going to take?
We have a contractual duty of 18 months. So June of 2027 is the technical finish. I really believe North Star again, this is what they do. I think they're going to be chomping at the bit to try to get it done earlier, but we want to make sure, all necessary regulations are followed. And it's done safely. And so if we can bring that in earlier, we'll do as much as we can. But the main thing is just making sure it gets done right.
Okay, Josh. Now, one of the questions. I'll make sure you. Are you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. One of the questions that was being asked about is that any opportunities for local contractors to help with the project and so forth, or any jobs available?
Yeah, so the minority participation has been something we've been talking to the community about. There are a few services that we are in discussions on. So electrical, miscellaneous work, hauling will probably be the biggest one. If I think if we had to talk to the community about, I think that's the biggest opportunity with such a job like this. There's not a lot of new work going to really get, hey, if I got a framing company, I can bring you in. If I have a flooring company, I can bring you in. So those opportunities aren't there necessarily, but where we can get people in, minority contractors specifically, we're all for it. And so, I can share my information, or we can go to the website, the former baptistdemolition.com, and make an inquiry, and we'll make sure you get in touch with the right people.
Okay. Now, are you the liaison or the point of contact between the city, the community, and Jacob himself?
And the general contractor. So yes, that is my role in this. Correct.
All right. So how do they reach you if somebody need to get a hold of you?
Website is the best way. So we have a inquiry format, so you can submit questions, concerns associated, and we log them as soon as they come in. And I think we're trying to push for 48 to 72 hours turnaround as far as responses, or having me and my team, because I do have a team as well. Definitely can't have this live alone. And so, we'll make sure we reach out via phone call or email if there are any questions, or you want to try to get engaged in any way.
All right. What do you want the community to know about this project? And in terms, I know you got spectators and people looking in terms of safety and things that they need to know about this project that they should do or should not do.
Well, I kind of say it jokingly, but stay away, right? we want the professionals to handle it, and the professionals are on the job. And so the other thing is we will roll out, in essence, our game plan. And so we want to set the standard on what you should see. And so if you see something differently, let us know. So if you have a question, if you say, hey, I saw something and maybe I don't know if it's right, or I think it is right, hey, follow up. And so we wanted to be dialogue, not just, a one-way communication stream. And so, we welcome all questions for the most part. Like I say, we're doing all of our necessary duties to perform our scope to make sure it's done right. Just, from a legal and environmental standpoint, which is a big concern of all of ours, that's walking the job site daily.
All right. Is there anything else you want the community to know before we go? I appreciate you coming on.
I think really, I appreciate the time. Just really sharing the website to those that come, and then we'll be sending out postcards and trying to use social media to really just get the word out more. We will look to have a community meeting probably at the end of February. So we're trying to pin down a location for that, so that, again, hey, if internet isn't your thing, please come on, come to the community meeting once we establish a date and time, and ask any questions or share any concerns.
All right. Well, John, thank you. And again, I apologize for the technical issues.
No worries.
It really was beyond my control when the internet goes down. This is great technology, but it's only as good as the internet would allow. I guess it's just like being electricity. When the power go out, we out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's Friday too, so sometimes technology checks out early. So I get it, but I would love to be on again, maybe once every month or some timeline, just to provide updates. And I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're most welcome anytime you want to come on, and we'll talk. In fact, we will have you back on the updates and because that project is near and dear to the community.
Absolutely.
And so everybody checked in, and I have Cliff on Mondays. On Tuesdays.
Okay.
Sometime when the mayor's not on, and so they keep us up to date on what's going on as well. But we're welcome to have you back, and thank you again for your time. Okay.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Now. All right, y'all. Yeah, that was Mr. Josh Wallace of the Jacob organization, and he's in charge of at least the liaison person between the community and the general contractor and the city. And if you got any questions, like he said, just go on the website. They will get back to you and everything. All right, Josh, thank you so much. All right, y'all, it is 8:30 time frame, and you know what that means. Friday, 8:30. It's the sheriff office time. And today we don't have the sheriff, but we got the undersheriff. Mr. Lighter, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I mean, I told you Lighter. I mean, Captain Hobbs. I'm sorry. I'm on so messed up this morning because the internet went out in the middle of my interview this morning because of the internet went out, and I'm at a loss to understanding why is that, why my internet went out.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I am well. So, you got the sheriff office report this morning? How things going on the law enforcement end?
Doing well. Yeah, the sheriff is on his way to Washington, D.C. this morning to go speak at the National Sheriff's Conference. He and Chief of Staff Whitney Lucas will be speaking there, talking about how to engage your community, how to build a foundation, and how to engage the community where they want to be engaged, how they want to be engaged. So it's a great opportunity. The sheriff and the Chief of Staff were asked to be speakers up there this weekend. So that's where they'll be at this weekend, along with Chief Leiter. So the three of them are up there in Washington, D.C. right now.
Well, I don't think they could have asked a better set of law enforcement officers, because I think they can set an example for the rest of the country on how to relate to the community and so forth. So far, they've been doing an excellent job, in my opinion. Yeah.
We try every day. We try to be better. We try to meet people where they're at. And I think by Sheriff Simmons bringing together a group of people that he has, we all bring a different aspect. I was born and raised here in Pensacola to a single mother. Like I talk about it a lot, I grew up in every trailer park Pensacola has to offer. And so, I know how it is to be on tough times. I know how it feels for your mama to be working 3 or 4 jobs just to keep the water and the lights on, and trying to do the best job she can do with what she has, and being blessed to have family members in the community that'll help you and keep you afloat in those tough times. So I think then, the sheriff, with his experience of being a football coach, a baseball coach, and just being a mentor, the group that he's put together with Ronnie Rivera, Delarian Wiggins, Chief Staff Whitney Lucas, Chief Leiter, and it goes on and on. I think that it allows us to see the overall picture of, by the grace of God goes me. And we talked about this last weekend. Just because something happens bad in someone's life doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that a certain circumstances came together to cause a bad issue to outcome. Some people are evil, some people are bad, but in general, people are good. They're just in a bad situation.
I agree wholeheartedly. I reported on this morning. I think I either saw this on the news or in the newspaper somewhere, but the law that regarding the move over law, the slow down move over law, and I understand that the issue probably is worse than what we think, because people are not stopping or slowing down or moving over for emergency vehicles, and I know that it just amended the law. Could you talk about that a little bit, and how important is that on that, and also on the school buses? I mean, it's amazing how people run school buses and so forth, but talk to us about that, if you will.
Yeah, so the move over law is for your safety and for the first responders who are on the side of the road. But you can just simply do a search on Facebook or Instagram, and you'll see all of the different videos of people running into a police cruiser while it's pulled over, and then running into someone else, or hitting an officer or hitting a civilian with their mirror because they're too close to the side of the road. So it's really a safety and security for all parties involved. And think about it this way: if you were pulled over on the side of the road, or you're broke down on the side of the road, and there's an officer there trying to help you, wouldn't you want to be able to be comfortable and know that the cars are not riding right up on you. And it's just a simple courtesy thing, and it's a safety courtesy. You don't want to be the reason why someone doesn't get to go home to their family that night, be it the officer, be it the firefighter, be it the EMS personnel. It's so many different aspects. And, curiosity gets the best of us. You can see an accident and people will slow down and they will watch and look because they are as nosy as they can be because they want to know what's going on. But just simply move over to the outside lane or as far as you can, slow down and give those first responders and the people they're helping the opportunity, or the people they're pulling over, the opportunity to get that done in a safe manner. The school buses, now that is a issue that every community has, that you have people, and I'm going to be a little direct here, are stupid because they're late. They're probably running late. They're all worried about their own lives, and they go around school buses. How would you feel if you go around that school bus and you run over a child?
Yeah.
You're going to go to prison the rest of your life, because there ain't no jury in this world. If you run over a child and kill a child because you ran around a school bus, that's not going to convict you. I don't care what your excuse is. You're going to go to jail, and you're probably going to go to prison. And there's nothing that is that important that you need to go around a school bus. Let those children get on and off that school bus. Let those children, don't let those children not be able to go see their family because you were in a hurry. Or, why would you want to live with that in your life, knowing that you took a child's life because of your inability to wait a little while?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something I would say is that just pause a little bit, give them a little time, and that couple seconds you're going to save. But it is a huge ticket. Santa Rosa County has cameras on their school buses. The Escambia County School District hasn't done that yet, but I'm sure they're talking about it. But if you go around a school bus and there's a deputy sheriff there, you are going to get cited. And so it's expensive, but it's dangerous too. I just, those things are just common courtesy. Treat people on how you'd want to be treated. Pretty simple. You would want your children to be able to get on and off that school bus safely. And so just take the time and let them do that. Let the school bus driver's job is hard anyway. Can you imagine having all them kids on the school bus screaming, hooping, and hollering while you're trying to deal with knuckleheads driving and everything else? And they're tasked with every day getting our children to school back and forth safely. So give them some grace also, because that is a job I would not want.
Yeah, I agree with you. One of my first jobs in my life, I was a school bus driver when I was 18 years old. And I certainly can identify with that. I do agree with the technology, and I hope Escambia County start adapting this. And I know a lot of it do with cost, but to put the cameras on these buses, as well as one of the other ideas. I know it's coming, but not only they should put the red light cameras on the cameras, but they also put tag readers just like they do in toll thing. And automatically cite these violators.
Now that would definitely be a thing. That'd definitely be a thing, because the cameras right now, they do take a tag, and they take a picture of the tag, they take a picture of the car, and then it sends it to the police department or sheriff's office in that district, and then a law enforcement officer has to look at it, and then a citation was sent. But if you could automate that thing even more, those people I will say this. We only get calls about this normally in the beginning of the school year when people do it right off the first. But I would be shocked if we have a ton of them happen a day. I mean, we might have one or two, but we have a large school district. People forget how big our school is, how big our county is. When I talk to people, I tell them that, we're one of the largest sheriff's offices in the state of Florida, that our community is a lot larger than we give it credit for. We're 340,000 people. We're the largest county until you get to Jacksonville in the top of Florida. And so, I mean, we're bigger than Tallahassee. We're bigger than almost anywhere around. And we still have that small town feel. So we have a lot of schools going on. When you hear the superintendent of schools talk about how many students they have every day they deal with, you get the idea of how big this entity they deal with every day is. And so, I tell everybody, we police 820 square miles. of Escambia County. The city of Pensacola only has 50 square miles. So, if that gives you an idea of how big the county is, it's a big county, and from Pensacola Beach to Century, Florida, it's diverse, it's big, it's beautiful, but it's challenging.
Yeah. Yeah. And I often think about decisions people make, they split seconds decision. When you see a car coming, and it's only going to take 5 seconds to let that car pass, but sometimes you try to beat it. 5 seconds in your life could make a difference, can change your whole life. Or speeding, okay? The speed limit on the interstate is 70 miles an hour, but you're going to do 80 or 90 miles an hour. And even if you were to maintain that consistent speed, you're not going to get there but 10 minutes earlier than you would before. But it makes a difference in your life, as opposed to having an accident or being cited.
Yep.
Is it worth it? That's the question you have to pose to yourself.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we've all been guilty of leaving late, trying to get somewhere. But you're right. Is it worth that? Is it worth the cost of a ticket? But is it worth, even worse, is it worth being the reason someone has to go to the hospital, or the reason you have to go to the hospital, or someone doesn't get to go home at all, or you don't get to go home? Speed is a huge issue when it comes to traffic accidents. It's that, and people playing on their phones. If sadly, folks on there they trying to update their Facebook posts, or their Instagram, or their TikTok, or their Snapchat, or whatever else they want to do nowadays. And I talk about this all the time about unlocked cars. With cars people commit burglaries to cars, and we have so many things in our lives that cause us not to pay attention. With our cell phones, everything that's in a car. I mean, you think about it, a new car has got so many screens on it that you don't even know what to do with. So you have all those different things, and then you add speeding to that, and it's a lot. I mean, you have to be a multitasker, like unlike a lot of things in this world when you're driving nowadays, And I think that it's easy to speed. It's easy to, especially with the vehicles we all drive, because they're built better. They're soundproof. You don't know how fast you're going. Because I'll catch myself sometimes. I'll be just trugging along. Like I was just in South Florida for the Florida Sheriff's Winter Conference. The sheriff and I were there, and I was on my way over there. And next thing you know, I look down and I'm speeding, and I didn't even know. I didn't know. I was just in my own little world driving, and the car is just moving on, and I'm like, oh, I got to slow down, and just put that thing on cruise control and just hang out and just stay off your phone. Stay off your phones. That's the biggest thing. I was driving. I'm driving over there to that conference. I look over to my right. There's a person watching TV on their phone while they're driving. I'm like, y'all are fools. Fools.
Yeah. Another thing about that is that people don't want to get out of the way when an emergency vehicle comes up. But that's against the law. If you get caught obstructing an ambulance or a fire truck or any emergency vehicle, that's an issue. You can be cited for that, right?
Oh, you absolutely can. Failure to yield right away. You can for emergency vehicle. Yeah, you can absolutely be cited for that. Sometimes I think, because it goes back to the cars we're driving, sometimes I don't think people hear us. I think sometimes that I want to believe people are good. And I want to believe that people are going to do the right thing, because common sense and decency tells me that I want to get out of the way of an emergency vehicle, because the emergency vehicle is trying to get to somebody. If it was my family member, I'd want them there.
We got a caller that got a question for you.
Let's do it.
Okay, Mr. Porter, go ahead with your question. Are you able to hear him?
I can't hear him.
Hold on, Mr. Porter. You're not able to hear you. Let me see. Can I put you on the speakerphone here, because he's not able to hear what you're saying? But let's try it again. Try it now, Mr. Porter.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead with the question.
What was the purpose of our representative putting in the paper that he got a speeding ticket on the Bay Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
What was the purpose of it?
Okay. Did you understand the question?
Yeah, that was Congressman Petronas, I believe, that got the citation over in Gulf Breeze. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really read the article. I saw the headlines, so I don't know what the conversation was about it or how the citation occurred. So I don't have enough information to even talk about that. I will tell you this: that Jim Petronas has always been a huge supporter of law enforcement. He's been to the sheriff's office multiple times. I know he's been to a lot of other sheriff's offices. So I'm not sure what exactly that article was about or why. But I mean, we all know if you drive through Gulf Breeze fast, you're going to get a ticket. I mean, we've all got tickets in Gulf Breeze. I mean, that's a guarantee. I will guarantee you something. You drive over that bridge going too fast, they're going to catch you because that's what they have to do. Gulf Breeze that's their thing, that they don't have a large amount of calls for crime. So they're doing a lot of other things that proactively to make their community safe. And one of those is speeding citations. So I don't know enough about that where I would have an intelligent explanation of what the conversation was, but I will say this: that what I know about Congressman Petronas is that he has always been supportive of law enforcement. When he was in Tallahassee, he was over Department of Fire and things like that. He did a great job, and he's always been very supportive. He is in contact with the sheriff a lot. So I don't know exactly what that conversation was or why the article was written. I didn't read it. So, but I do know that the headline said he was cited for speeding, I believe, in Gulf Breeze.
Okay, very good. All righty. There's anything else we can talk about this week?
No, we have coming up in February, we have the Blazer Academy, Male Blazer Academy will start next week. Next Tuesday, we start that. So we'll be welcoming a group of young men in, and we're going to start having real direct conversations about how it is to be a man, to be a productive citizen, to make the right choices, even when they're not easy. We'll start those things myself.
How do one get involved with that program, sir?
So when we post it, we'll post it up on our social media sites. And we'll say, hey, it's open. And honestly, they only stay open a short time because we get inundated with people, because we keep the number a bit smaller, I believe at 35 or 40, so that you can have the one-on-one time with each student. And that, I believe that we keep long-term relationships with these young men and young women, because we have a female Blazer Academy also that Chief of Staff Lucas and some of the other female staff members here at the Sheriff's Office teach. But we keep a long-term relationship with the young people that come through that Blazer Academy. So it gives us an opportunity that we keep those numbers a little smaller, that we can really have that interaction, because some of these young people need someone to talk to that's not their parents. That it's like, I was my mother, when we moved to Tallahassee for a couple of years, for a year and a half, so she could get a state job. She got me involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that opportunity to have somebody as a mentor that wasn't my mother, even though I love my mother and I appreciate everything she did to me, but it was a male role model that we all know as men, there's certain things that happen in our lives that you could probably do with a male perspective.
Right.
And, there's those conversations about dating. There's conversations about how to deal with conflict. There's conversations about how to handle yourself at a dinner table, how you handle yourself walking into a bar, how you handle yourself on a football field, a basketball court, things like that, that we as, being raised by a strong mom. My mother was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. So she's a very strong person, but there's still a different aspect when you're talking about how a man interacts with another man, or how a man should interact with a woman or a child, and things like that. So, so we put those up on the Facebook. The Facebook will open a registration. You'll click on the registration, you register your child, and they get, in our Blazer Academy, they get a blazer, they get a new shirt, pants, shoes, a tie, and if they complete the whole program, when we do a graduation, they get a pocket watch that's engraved with their class in it. So it's something that, we use the pocket watch as an emblem of something a lot of us weren't blessed enough to get growing up, and we give them something. It's a really nice pocket watch, something that they can pass on and they can show. And it's interesting. We had a alumni class recently, and all those young men brought their pocket watches in, and to see their growth, to see where they are now, and the things they learned about shaking a hand, tying a tie, and it the biggest thing is when you ask them what's their dreams, and it's heartbreaking sometimes to see some of these young people don't have dreams. They don't know what opportunities they can have, what abilities they can do. And, we try to explain to them that, and, I just did a podcast the other day and I talked about this. I have this conversation with young people all the time. I like NFL football stuff. So I say in life, I was probably a 6th-round pick, but it doesn't mean I have to die a 6th-round pick. I can be a 1st-round pick when it's all said and done. The decisions I make, the friends I keep, the hard decisions that to not drink and drive, not to be out with people slinging dope, not to get in the car and one of your boys got a gun. Those things that are should be easy, but they're hard because of society and how we live, who we live, or who we're with. Those decisions what decide if you're a 1st-round pick the rest of your life, or you're a 6th-round or 7th-round, or you're undrafted. In life, you make those decisions, and they then decide where you end up in life. And just because you were born into a trailer and with not a lot of money doesn't mean that's where you have to end in life. And that's what we talk about in Blazer Academy. We have real hard conversations about everybody can be successful if they choose to be successful. That there is you get a mentor, you get people in your life that are successful, and they'll want you to be successful. They'll help you be successful, because successful people want to be around successful people. That's what we want. And so we talk about those things. I feel like it's a great opportunity every time we have one of those classes for me to speak to young people and hopefully have a lifelong friendship with them, and where we can help them every step of the way be successful, because we have to make sure our futures are strong here in Escambia County.
When you said the thing about the giving them a watch and everything, it brought back memories when I was a boy, and being in the country. The thing that they passed down to us was a pocket knife.
Yeah.
So that every boy, every man should have a pocket knife. It's not as popular these days, but the point is well taken.
Yeah, it's something that you have that is important to you, that you can pass down to your generations, and that's something we've lost in our society, is the ability to have pride in something that we want to keep in our families for long term. And if we can do something like that to help a young person and give them the ability to dream, give them the ability to understand they can be whatever they want to be, that we're here with our hands out, willing to help them every step of the way to be whatever they want to be, is really, I feel like it's a blessing that I get to be involved in.
Absolutely. All right. Chief Deputy Hobbs, anything else we want to pass on?
No, sir. I just appreciate the opportunity. I believe Sheriff Simmons will be back next week, so y'all won't have to put up with me again, at least for a little while. So, but yeah,
well, we're glad to have you. We're glad to be a partner with the law enforcement here in Escambia County, and I say this again. I say this a lot, that when I came in this community in the early 1970, we didn't enjoy the relationship with the law enforcement like we got today. And I always tell the sheriff all the time, I'm my hat's off to him, because I think we enjoy a great relationship with the community, because when people become entrenched in part of the community, then it pays off. You can see it pays off in lower crime. It pays off. We don't have these crazy incidents like we had in the past. And, it's a good thing. Before, we didn't have law enforcement officers coming on TV and radio talking about what we all talk about every week. And so we welcome that.
I understand that. Growing up the way I did not always have the most positive interaction with law enforcement.
Yeah.
So I understand it completely. And that is something I tell the story to these young kids we have in our academy, that growing up here in Pensacola, not having any influence, being around young people who were not probably doing the best things in the world, I had negative interaction with law enforcement. And it wasn't because I was being a bad kid, but I was around bad people. But they treated us all the same. They treated us, everybody, the same, like we were all criminals. So I think that that's the big thing, is that you have to understand that not everybody's a criminal. Even if they're around things that are going on doesn't mean they're bad, doesn't mean they're involved. And even if they are, we have an opportunity to step in and mentor them and give them an opportunity to not be those people. So again, it's from Sheriff Simmons' leadership, his years of experience here in this community, that we continue to push to be the best we can be every day.
Okay. All right, y'all. This is Chief Deputy Andrew Hobbs. Andy, thank you. We appreciate it. And I always look forward to talking to you.
Thank
every
you. I
week,
appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend. Let's stay warm out there.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. That is Chief Deputy Hobbs of a Escambia County Sheriff Office. And the Sheriff Office reports every Friday at 8:30. Y'all, you know, the time flies, and we had little issues with the internet, the technical issues, and we were off for a little while, but we're back on because the internet went out, and that concerns me because I pay a lot of money for my internet services. But anyway, things happen, so yeah, I hope you understand that. If it inconveniences you, I apologize, folks. I want you to have a great weekend. I want you to look forward to listen to the Blues Hound tomorrow from 10 to 2. I want you to tell everybody how to get this station. I want you to tomorrow go down to the L.L. Jordan House to listen to these young people recite those essays that was tasked with them. And most important, I want you to stay safe and stay warm this weekend, and we're going to look forward to hearing back from you on Monday morning. As they say, we used to say in the country, we'll hear from you if the creek doesn't rise, okay? So we'll see you on Monday. So y'all have a great weekend, okay? Have a super weekend. We'll talk to you later, okay?
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up.